What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Sword Art Alicization. Yeah, we're back after about 2 weeks of no reviews other than me getting caught up on Super Dragon Ball Heroes, as well as also reviewing the Persona 5 Dark Sun OVA that dropped a few weeks back. We're finally back to our regular scheduled program of Sword Art Alicization on Saturdays and Dragon Ball Super and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures on Sundays. Yeah, man, it feels good to be back reviewing that sale because this episode was amazing. OP was the same because I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get a new OP when the anime comes back." Same OP was for this week, but I think this is gonna be the final time we're gonna hear the Lisa OP, and then next week we're gonna get the new OP and the new ED. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So we started this off. We got she's talking about how in I believe 70 years since Quinella became the administrator, and of course in that time it was a peaceful time. The lands were peaceful and everything. No war for everybody else. It was just peace and idleness. And in the 70 years, Quinella realized that something's changed within her. That something's happened. So she does like that S thing to check her stats. And she finds out that actually her memory for her Fluck Light has actually been filled up. Completely filled up. She can't save her memories anymore. Kind of like how you can't install games onto a hard drive when it's full, or videos or whatever. So it's like her brain pretty much looks like a hard drive. And because she's like, oh, no. Shocked by this, she of course thinks of another plan, trying to make sure that she can upgrade her hard drive space, so she can store my memories. So she ends up having this little ritual. She calls it like this little girl that looks suspiciously like Cardinal, the Cardinal system. It looks a lot like her. And they have their little ceremony. She does close your eyes. She's like, hi. So she closes her eyes, does a little thing, and she steals she takes over her Fluck Light to override its memory so that she has more space for her own. And then we realize that when she was and then she also tells Kirito, tell me what the Cardinal system is, what my original version of it was. And then the Cardinal system originally had two people, the main and the sub. The main was going to deal with all the balancing issues and everything that would require to work to keep the game running and keep it running. The sub was where to work out the bugs and errors that the main would make, or just glitches in the system overall. And then that's when it hits Kirito after she says, "I have waited 70 years for this moment." And that's when he tells that actually that little girl is Cardinal. And so she's like, system called generate luminous element, this electricity, this charge. And so we get a little fight with this system called. And they still have a little fight with art animation. But by the way, in case you guys wonder why they always say system call yada 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 whatever in English, it's actually because Chibi actually brought this up in his review of the last episode 2 weeks back. That when Quinella was a little kid, and her calling was to find out more about the Cardinal system and how it works and everything, and how she managed to find a bunch of the other spells needed to work it. She discovered another language while she was doing that, so she knew how it worked, which was English. Hence why every time they say system calls or they cast spells or whatever, it's always in English. Nice little touch there. I like that they did that. I like that. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually a really cool thing. Actually, really does. And so after a while, she turns this whole area that they're into like a restricted area, so they can't use their spells or magic, whatever you want to call it. So they have to go find mano a mano, up close and personal, 1-on-1 with swords and swords. So Quinella picks up a sword while Cardinal uses her staff. We see her carry throughout these last couple episodes. And I see that she's actually rocking, and then so they're facing off, and I like the sound effects they use for when the sword and the staff clash. I like the sound effects they use. It kind of sounds like a tennis racket hitting a tennis ball, kind of. So I know that's actually what they used. It was a tennis racket hitting a tennis ball, but I like the sounds they use. I like the sound effects. Thought they were really good. She realized okay, I cannot defeat her in this body, so she makes a run for retreat. And then Carl's Quinella be like, "Oh hell no, bitch! You ain't running away. You are not leaving here. You ain't leaving here alive. So she comes charging at her, misses him with she slashes down, does a downward slash, misses. She ends up hitting like a little piece of her clothes while she's already out the door. Does another spell so that she can pretty much just borderline fly across the hallway that they're on. So she's like, I guess, gliding, flying, whatever you want to call it, going through the hallway. And Queen Ellen's on her tail. She ends up finding. She was like, okay, I need to go somewhere that even she can't access, which was of course the Great Library. Summons up the door, the spell or whatever to access there. Closes the door. Gets rid of that entrance, and bam, they're out of the And bam, she's now in the Great Library, away from Queen Ellen. And she has waited, and then in the 200 years since then, yes, it's been 200 years since that original moment. She's been sitting here thinking of a plan to take down, Queen Ellen. But between the time frame between this and between when her first encounter was to here, Queen Ella of course started up the Integral Knights. The Integral Knights started them as her backup to help her out, so that this could not happen again. And that really put a damper on Queen Ella's Cardinal's plan, because it was just a simple one-on-one battle with some time and some training. Probably she could defeat him, but with these Cardinal Knights, with these Integral Knights, it's going to be damn near impossible for her to take her down all by herself. Hence why she has been slowly, throughout the 200 years, have been sending out some of her little bugs to look for people that would help her out. Which of course ended up being our boy Kirito, and Yujo is the one she picked for this venture. And how she did it was very simple. So because she pretty much had to keep herself locked away inside the Great Library, since she can't go out there and look for the people herself, she would leave this to a bunch of her little buddies, these little bugs she's had, and one of them was a spider that was actually in Kirito's hair right after they left the village and made their way back to the capital, and they had all the stuff that happened, in the last few and some of the previous episodes. The spider was in there, which we saw his hair, like when a piece of his hair moved to the right, when he had to go right to get out of there with that tangled knife. So the spider jumps out of his hair, and it's a small little thing that's like, I don't know, like a centimeter or something. I don't know, but it's really fucking small. He's really fucking small, and because it's been 200 years, so she's been looking for 200 years. She has pretty much kept disabled his aging, the spider's aging, so that he can keep helping her over and over and over again until she does find the right people, as she has been waiting here for 200 years. And so then she talks about how, so after that, we see that how she wonders, why haven't the people from the outside world gone to help us, to save us from this tyrant? And then she realizes that the creators' wrath, they don't want the people on the outside. They don't want the people in here having a happy life. No, they want to make their lives a living hell. Which we know is true, because this whole thing with Alicization and the underworld is nothing more than to create Skynet, essentially. Nothing more to create Terminators. Nothing to create AIs that are willing to kill. That's the whole thing is this thing for. Hence why the Dark World's created with all those people that want nothing but mayhem and destruction with the goblins and shit. And so she's like, and then Kirito's like, let me get this straight. Since you are like the sub of the Cardinal system, if you feed the administrator, you don't give 2 flying fucks about what happened to everyone else, right? She's like, perhaps you're right. Change her teeth. And so because of this, she's gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna delete this whole thing, and we're gonna start anew. We're going to restart this. Yeah, she's just gonna straight up defeat the administrator. She's just gonna reset everything, get back her abilities, and reset Alicization, reset the underworld, delete every single one Fluctlight that's in here, and restart it from the very beginning. And so she's like, Kirito, do you accept if you accept, I will let you I'll let you pick a few people, which ends up being 10. I'll let you pick 10 people to survive, I will not delete, and I'll just keep them in archives. And there's like, okay. And so Kirito does the most shonen thing that we the people have ever heard of. Where Kirito, when he says, you know what, I accept, but I'm going to think for another way to make sure that nobody dies, and that we can defeat the administrator and nobody dies. It's the most shonen. Now, granted, I wouldn't say it's the most shonen thing to do, because like some other like shonen animes, you see like I can't think of any of the top of my head besides how it could turn out in My Hero Academia. Because you guys remember in Hiroaka season 3 during the whole hero license exam arc, there it was very easy for Horikoshi to have Deku be a show kind of like do the show thing. There was trying to find a way to make sure that everybody passed what you did. He even stepped on one side guy's dream. He said, "He was like, hey man, come on man, come on man, y'all the first years, come on, I need this." He's like, sorry bro, and he eliminates. Remember that in back in season 3. So now, granted, this is kind of a different circumstance because, this is because we know Kirito does at least mildly give a shit about the lives of AIs, even though they are AIs and really don't have any feelings. Now, granted, these AIs are borderline humans, so he's probably like, you know what, I want to try to make sure that everybody survives. So it's more of not letting everyone die, sort of thing, rather than but it's kind of like I was like, man, that's kind of shonen-y for you to say there, Kirito. And she was like, yada yada. She legit says, yada yada. And I was like, hey, Jojo. Anyway, so she's like, man, you are absurdly optimistic. Hey, man. And then we get to this other thing where she says, there is one thing that I desire. One thing that has been this burning desire within me for the past 200 years that I desperately must know. Kirito, stand up. And I was like, whoa, woman, remember, this ain't hentai. I'm joking, I did think that. I was like, wait, what the hell is this? So she's like, shit. So she gets outside of here because she's so short compared to Kirito. She's like, okay, come over here. And Kirito gets about halfway. He's like, he keeps his distance. He's like, come closer. And then he comes right next to her, and then she says, put your arms in like a circle. And Kirito kind of does that, but he doesn't know what the hell she did. Even I was like him. I was like, what the hell are you doing, woman? And she's like, my God, do I have to spell it out for you? Throws her heart up there and hugs Kirito. She's like, ah, yes. Ah. So this is what me too. And the Kirito's like, what, fucking. And he goes in there and hugs her too. And then she starts crying for some reason. I do not know why. I mean, she's like, oh my God, the warmth. Then she's like going off. I'm like, woman, this isn't a romance anime. Why are you crying? This ain't no bro. Last time I checked, I'm not watching Your Name. I'm watching Sword Art Online Alicization. Anyway, so after they have their little moment, Kirito kind of looks at her in a daze and he's like, yo, bro, how long you gonna keep looking at me like that? He's like, I'm sorry. And then Kirito says, when it happens, one of the 10 people, I don't want you to disappear, so one of the 10 people I'm picking, you're going to be one of them. She's like, bro, how the hell am I going to destroy the system if I'm still alive? That's because I'll find another way to make sure you don't have to destroy the system. So, will it end up working? I don't know. We'll have to wait to see. Although I'm assuming this is what's going to be the rest of the arc of the Alicization arc. It's going to be Kirito trying to find his way, to think of a way to defeat the Administrator, with, of course, not having Cardinal end up destroying everything and resetting everything. Excuse me. So after that, we get back to Yujo, who our boy Yujo's is kind of just sitting there in this great lobby reading a book on top of one of those ladders, just kind of sitting there reading. Kirito and Cardinal show up. He tells her a little bit, going on like, oh yeah, she used to be like the ex-proxy, I think the ex-proxy, I think it was, but I forget the exact words Kirito used, but she used to be the one that used to be in charge before, but now she isn't because of the Administrator. And because of this, and so Kirito, she's willing to help us, to help her, get back her powers, to get back her abilities, back her powers as the god of the world, or get back her full stature as the Administrator of the Underworld Alicization, so to defeat the Administrator. And he was okay, Kirito doesn't mention all the stuff about the gods being fake or any of the other stuff. He keeps that all to himself. And then Yujo's like, hey, since you are a Cardinal System, you're in this great library, you wouldn't have to know if Alice, the Integral Knight Alice, is the same Alice I grew up with, right? It's like, bro, my memory is kind of limited here, so sorry. But she says, I can tell you how to reverse the synthesis ritual to, see if the Alice that was there is indeed the Alice you grew up with. Because we see earlier on in the episode when Kirito did create, when Quinella did indeed create the Integral Knights, the first one, which ended up being the guy that ended up defeating that Ice Dragon and so we've heard legends in the first episode that Kirito was talking about. We see that she puts these triangular prisms in there, which do indeed alter and alter the memories of the people of the people, so that they're easier to manipulate, and that they can work, and so they can be an integral knight and yet have. So they're making it basically more easier for Quidel to control, so she doesn't have to feel them like, come on, I need you to do this. But he's like, nah, I don't want to do this. With this, she could they're made more easier to manipulate, control, and so that they're more on her side. You guys get the point. And so to combat this is to, or I should say reverse it, is to remove the triangular prism that was inside, that is embedded into their heads, that's a better head, like the ones we saw earlier in last week's episode with that one integral knight. So all they gotta do is remove it and bam. But it ain't that simple. Because of where the thing is embedded and it is used to indeed alter their memories, the most important memory fragments, the ones that are most precious to people, are indeed locked into the administrator's chambers on the top floor of the cathedral. So they can't just remove it and bam, they're good. They also got to get back their memories, to retrieve their memories from the top of the chambers, and then remove the prison, because you can't just simply hey, Alice, you remember this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this? That doesn't work. You gotta get those memories to really make sure everything works. So because of that, and then so then she's like, all right, so you guys, because of this, you guys need to fight the Integral Knights. But he was like, hey, but I can't fight Alice, because it could be the one I grew up with. I just can't bring myself to fight her. And she's like, all right, fine. So she pulls out these daggers, or like throwing knives. That she was like, yeah. That she was like, okay, what are these for? And then she stab them and just stab Alice with these wherever you need, wherever, and I'll have a connection to her where then I can put her in an indefinite sleeping spell that she will sleep, never wake up while you guys find a way to regain her memories, and then of course, bring her back and bam, and see if that is indeed the Alice that you grew up with there, usual. She's like, alright. And then she says, I was originally going to use these to take down the administrator, but and I had another one just for expansions, for a backup, but if you guys can get it done your first try, I guess that's good. He's like, that's like a huge responsibility in there. and then she's like, because you guys are going to need more powerful weapons to take down those guys, I'll give you guys weapons that are equal to the Integral Knights, and usually brings up about their swords. The swords they already have, and they're like, oh yeah, right, you guys got powerful swords, right? Okay, good. So I'll help you guys go find those. They're most likely on the 3rd floor of the cathedral. And to get there, and so she'll help them get there to get back to weapons. But they can't just use their swords and hope to fight by their best and hope to God they'll win. No. This ain't like, oh, that's with plot armor and shit. This time they need an extra ability. They need to know how to amplify their sword's powers multiple times to defeat these Integral Knights, just like the Integral Knights can. And so she's like, okay, I'll make sure you guys can, I think it was like the control sword act, I think that's what it's called. And so, alright, close your eyes and think of your sword. So she does this little thing with her staff, wand, whatever you want to call it. And they sing in their sword. We see Kirito because his sword was derived from the tree, and we see we see these branches come around and they form the tree. With Yujo's, I like Yujo's a lot more because since it is indeed a blue rose, we see this icy, this snowy place, and then we see the blue rose. It's pretty much made out of made out of crystals. This guy's sitting there. I thought it was really cool what they did with Yujo and Kirito's. So the spell is over, and then they look at each other's, and then these pieces of paper show up in front of them. They're like, oh shit! And then they have right in there. It's in cursive, so I have no idea what the hell it's saying. But if I had to guess, I'm assuming that's different spells they can use to amplify their source power. Then she's like, all right, memorize that thoroughly, okay? And she's gonna bring them, and then they're gonna look. Hey, and then Yujo after hey, where is the top floor of the cathedral? Where is the top floor? Where is her chambers? Oh, and she says, she's the top floor. But since the cathedral is growing by year, it's most likely hit 100 floors by this point. And I love the look Kirito and Yuji go, they're like, oh fuck, I love that love the game, because now looks like we're gonna have a Ghostbuster situation where I swear to God, I really hope anyone pitch does this, where we just see them just running up flights and flights of stairs to when they get generally more tired as they go. They're like, like a Ghostbusters. Please, A1, put that in an episode. Please, I am going to love you forever if you do that. Because I highly doubt elevators exist in this. Because I highly doubt they have an elevator. So they probably just got to run up these stairs. Oh my God, please, A1, take it like Ghostbusters and just make it the funniest shit ever. Please. And so she opens up a door and she says, good luck to you all. Hopefully you may find another plan. You might find another way to make sure I don't have to destroy the whole world, Kirito. But good luck. And so they walk through the door, and now they're inside this new room. And that's where the episode ends. So so next week's part we're gonna get the new ED and the new OP, because the AED in this week's episode was just over just the last minute of the episode. So yeah, and so I'm guessing the anime and in this whole arc, this Alicization arc, is probably going to cue out a Metal Gear Solid's playbook, where the whole rest of the show is going to be Kirito and Yujo making their way through the cathedral, going floor by floor by floor, and just making their way up to when they get to the top floor, and they probably have to face off with the administrator, probably with the help of Ox, because we know she's later going to get introduced. We know she's going to find a way in there. We all know this is going to happen. So yeah. Overall, I love this week's episode, and for my final verdict, I give this week's episode a 9 out of 10, so hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. As always, come back for more. See you guys next time.